It's wonderful. President of awca, Mrs. Ramano, Mrs. Zanele Mbeki. I have to recognize probably one person here in the room who is my age group, because that's very important, but she is also a former gender commissioner and president of that, and that is Mrs. Joyce Roque. Joacha, thank you for coming. The place is full of young people. I would also like to recognize my colleague and friend who is here, the roving ambassador in charge of SADC countries, Mr. Ngendu. And of course, very special, our police commissioner. You are our pride. I must recognize you, Ria. It's wonderful you are here. There are many people I have to recognize, and I think I will use, with your permission, the Nigerian expression which says protocol observed. But I would like to mention in a special way the previous recipients who are here. Something which I will do, which I don't normally do, to recognize the technicians that I had to work with in these past 2 weeks. It was a tough job. But thank you to technicians and to awca, the people who spoke there. I've never said those nice things to me ever. And thank you for giving me a chance to hear the things they will say when I die. Normally, we wait until people are gone and you tell them how great they were, but thank you for giving me this opportunity to hear. I would like to especially recognize and say very special things to the founders of this organization. And I would like to really refer to them as the imigogodla, really our pride. And I accept this award on behalf of your mothers. I represent that generation of your mothers that nurtured you. I represent the generation of those mothers that passed to you the legacy of the values that you embrace today, the passion, the care, and the sharing what you have with other people. I also represent your parents in general who made sure that you get the education that you were able to get. And so on their behalf, to say thank you for recognizing me, but also thank you for this great gift that you have of not affirming us, those people you refer to as women of substance. I wasn't sure what substance meant, but I know it means somebody special. But also of affirming each other. It's a discipline. And people often say that women actually don't know how to affirm other women. That is not true. But one of the challenges women always have to learn is that another woman is yourself. And if you are able to affirm your own identity as who you are, what you stand for, and be proud of the person you are, then you feel the same about another woman. And so as long as people say, they say all kinds of things, that women are jealous of each other. I was listening to reports and some cynicism and comments about August, the Women's Month. Do women know how to work with another woman and all that? Don't listen to that. That's propaganda. You watch that propaganda box, it tends to come from patriarchy. And unfortunately, women also begin to believe it. If you have a woman boss, love her. If she's difficult, she's just difficult because she's a person. It's nothing to do with the fact that she's a woman. And if she's strict, if she's very strict, very unreasonable, which is something that people do. But thank you for Thank you for honoring me, that I'm able to be happy about myself while I'm still alive. Thank you for doing that. I want to congratulate you for having had this idea. I know it came from many people to form this organization. 10 years, actually, for an organization in young democracy is a very long time. Every year brings its own challenges to you. You wonder whether you'll be able to get all the budget you want to get, whether you'll be able to get everybody, the candidates you want, whether you will choose the right person to be a recipient. Thank you for choosing me this time, because send him Dala. And I also want to thank you for being inclusive. At least you have been very generous. That's on a lighter note about that. But the organizations have their own challenges. You know, the test of any organization that people form is whether, in fact, you can cope with the differences, and whether, in fact, you can fight, disagree, be honest, but continue to trust and love each other. That's fundamental. Because you'll always disagree in an organization. You'll always see things differently. You don't have to, in fact, to see it. But what becomes a greater challenge is that you will continue to work together and continue to respect each other in spite of your differences. And for you, young women of South Africa, to do that, entering into a male world, thank you, actually, that you gave this to me, because I never thought during my lifetime, during my lifetime, I would see women chartered accountants. For a very long time, I wasn't even sure what chartered accountants did. But when finally in our family of generations of education, everybody was either a teacher or a police person, whatever. My family has all kinds of persons who have done just about everything you can think of. But it is the first time in my family that we have a chartered accountant. I tell everybody, as you are here, I have to show off to the women. Brigalia Bam, our pride in the family. We tell everybody because we have builders and everybody. So he's very special. So I'm glad you are here to give me moral support. One of the problems that face you, and don't be discouraged, is that you will have some years more failures than you thought. And then the disappointments are there. So what you do, just maximize those things that are a success. Talk about them, exaggerate a little bit. Because the exaggeration helps you, it sort of gives you the stamina. It gives you the energy, the spiritual energy that you need. So nothing wrong to say, well, you know, we were hoping we will get, use percentages because people can't. Instead of saying we have so many students, say we did something like 70%. Don't do. And then people don't really know how many students you have been successful. But I do want to say thank you for making a choice of affirming and encouraging the young women of this nation. The South African woman, a child in South Africa, I tried to scribble this a little bit, but I couldn't think through, of a girl child, of a teenager, probably in this country, maybe I exaggerate. I think they are the persons who are facing the greatest challenge. And I wasn't sure whether the things I put down here were really true. There are no support structures. As I travel around in South Africa, my own country, during the job I was doing in the last 14 years, I came across very few structures and organizations that were specifically supporting young women. There are a number of organizations, television everywhere, youth groups. I interact with a lot of students, representative councils, SRCs in universities, and I don't see these girls. I see a lot of boys who are hanging around, and maybe there'll be one token girl or 3 girls or something, but somehow they are invisible. And I'm glad you have chosen them. These girls' movements are just not there. I come from a tradition, as Mrs. Joyce Roque will know, that when I was employed as a young woman, you saw me there looking very slim and young. I was employed by the Young Women Christian Association, and one of the jobs I did, and I haven't seen my counterparts lately, 60 years down the line, I was responsible for organizing teenagers and young women. And that was my full-time job. And I keep looking around as I travel, who are the people who replaced us in this job that we were doing? And so I am really grateful to you, because if we are not able to support the growth of a teenager in South Africa, you can see that she is a particular person who is facing many challenges. All kinds of diseases are on her, as you all know. You know that she is challenged by early motherhood, where she has to nurture a child, a baby, when she herself hasn't grown to be a mature person, to bring up another person. And that's what you are talking about when you talk about a young girl in our country. You are talking of someone who is more of a victim of rape than most of us. I am not going to make any reference to people who rape women of my age. I think we are a sick society. I'll make no reference to that. But this is a kind of young person you are talking about. And she enters into a school, a system that is very difficult. I think more difficult than the systems have ever been in the previous years. And so this girl of today, whom you have chosen to support, is in fact the future of this nation. And so if you keep that as your hope, that we are there to support the generations to come, because she will be the person ultimately at the end who will take care of this nation and take care of other generations. I want to say to you, thank you for that choice. Keep doing it, and I hope that your work will continue in the next many more years to come. Organizations like yours tend sometimes to be criticized as being elitist. Don't listen to those things. Don't listen to those negatives. People who are educated, people who have had an opportunity for education, must lead. And what you have embraced is what I want to congratulate you for and thank you for, and that is to share what you have. You come from that tradition that we have always shared. Ubuntu means sharing what you have, and continue to do that. And I am grateful that I have been chosen this time, and I hope that many more others of my generation will be as fortunate. I have to put in a good word for them, because, and thank you so much. Wonderful.